God damn. Air freshener today. Close enough. Close enough. Hello! Welcome! Greetings, salutations, how are you? I haven't seen you in the chat before, so you must be pretty new. Well, I got some interesting food for thought for you if you're a person of culture, study history and stuff like that. So, well, if you don't mind me asking, since you're the only one here right now, normally, I suppose I better go tell the Discord that I'm on. They will let me know otherwise. But while you're here, what brings you? What brings you to this channel? Hopefully, it's not just the impressive mustache, even though it's not that impressive right now. It's made an appearance on the channel before. If you don't mind me asking, you like helmets? Well, what a coincidence. I also like helmets. I have a lot of helmets. Oh, you collect them. What would you say is your rarest helmet? What would you say is your rarest helmet? There. Now I told the Discord. They can't be mad at me. The Danish M2341. I also have one of those. I actually have, just off camera, I have a Danish M39 as well. I have a Danish M96 that I recently got as well. Actually, like 2 weeks ago, I picked up that Danish M96. Hello! Welcome, ACM. Welcome. We're making food. This is going to be the first time I eat today, so I'm pretty hungry. But I got a question. When some people get in here, I got an interesting question for you guys that I think will get some people a little uppity. Just a few. Just a couple, you know. But in the meantime, I got to season my potatoes. And Tom's here. Tom will really probably like the question I have to ask once people get in here. I think Tom will have a pretty interesting opinion on this. Tom's always got an interesting opinion. He's a man whose opinion I value. We're making potatoes here, Tom, right now is what we're doing. Making some potatoes. Oh, really? Oh, just you wait. I got a question because, you know, when I don't have anything to do, taters, yeah, we're making taters, and I'm just lubing them up. You know, getting some shiny fingers, you know, with some nice, you know, slightly fucked olive oil, you know. So just lubing them up real good before I, you know, pop them in the oven. I'm trying to be relatively healthy, so I'm trying to not use as much butter, you know, use olive oil. So, but I love butter. And just for Tom, I got the fantastic butter, the best butter. So, Soviets are me too, as if you can't tell by my shirt and my. Get that crap out. That's fair. Well, I normally get Irish, but they were out of Irish, so I had to get Danish. Unfortunately. So, an SSH-40. I have one right off camera right there. Actually, it's a 1947 dated one. So I recently got that as well. I picked it up from Ukraine. Actually, I got sent that by somebody in Ukraine. Thank you. I appreciate it very much. Have a good city. I actually know where that is, and I actually got a cool question that actually involves Japan today. It does involve Japan. actually. So you might have some good insight on this, because I'm a huge fan of Japan. Weeby stuff. I like all the cool stuff about Japan. You know what I mean? Not that weeby stuff isn't cool, you know, but I like Japan a lot. I like Japan a lot. There's my salt. Dan doesn't. So Tom doesn't like Danish butter. Apparently, doesn't like that Danish butter. Do I know that? Yes, it's basically just the liner. The 39 would basically take the liner of the SSH 36 and just drop it into the SSH 40. But then ultimately that was decided to be too complicated to manufacture, because now 1940, the war is in full bloom. So they went for a much easier to put together liner. And so it was easy as just making 3 little pillows, which you could have basically forced labor making by hand in the hundreds every day. And then you're just riveting them to the shell. So it's, yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. If you're looking for a good stand-in, the Czech M52 has almost the same liner as the SSH 36, at 39, sorry. So the Czech M52 is actually a lot like the SSH 39. So, all right, you do your thing, potatoes. Taters. What's this? We're making food. That's what we're doing. Because I haven't eaten yet today, and I showered, and I recently shaved just a couple minutes before this. I shaved, and so now we're gonna make some food. That's what we're doing. We're making some food. Okay, see you later, Nigel. And I got a very cool question to ask some people that I want their opinion on. I want some uppity comments, but maybe everyone will agree. Who knows? Who knows? Mushrooms. Because I can. That's why. Because I can. Because I too like Soviet stuff. That's why. Hello. Welcome back. Welcome. Good to see you. All right. So now there's enough of you, I think, in here. I got a question for you. Who do you think was the? I want to know how to word this. Maybe Jake will have a good opinion on this. I'm doing quite well. Who do you think was the best? I shouldn't say best. Most. Okay, yeah. Let's just say best Axis power of World War II, and why? Explain to me why. That's what I want to know. I want everyone's opinion, and I want an explanation as to why. And it can even be a simple explanation. You don't need to give me a whole big, long-winded compliment. If you do want to give me a big, long-winded comment, that probably would be great as well. Multiple reasons is good. But even if it's a simple reason, like they had the Tiger II. So, but like if you had to say, oh, congratulations on your CG634. So, but who do you think was the best Axis power of World War II? And then also, who do you think was the best Allied power of World War II, and why? I think those are both very interesting questions that can be argued. And I think I've been doing a lot of research, doing a lot of reading, listening to a lot of podcasts and a lot of other stuff. And I think I've come to the conclusion that maybe what I thought was true necessarily isn't. So, because I think I've changed my opinion now on who I think the best Axis power was in World War II, and who I think the best Allied power of World War II is actually. Okay, quality over quantity. Remember, give an explanation as to why. I want to know why. I want a brief explanation as to why. I mean, Pretty good argument, Tom. I never thought of it like that, but that's true. That's very true. That's probably a very good argument to be made. So runs and goes. Axis Rose. But I'm just interested. Well, so Canada fell under the British Dominion in World War II. Pretty much, they had a big level of autonomy, but they had a really big level of autonomy going back to like the 1860s. But they fall under the overall British arc, I think, in World War II. So. But I think I've changed my opinion. I always thought for the longest time that Germany was probably the strongest Axis power and that America was probably the strongest Allied power. But I've since flopped. I now think Japan was probably the strongest Axis power based on like the hand they dealt and everything like that and how well they fought and how long they fought with the situations they had to deal with. And I think Russia, like the Soviet Union, is probably in the same boat for the Allies. I think the turnaround that Russia had during World War II made them probably the strongest Axis power. And a lot of people could probably argue against that. But the only reason I don't think it's America anymore was because America nearly bankrupted themselves during World War II, where the Soviet Union didn't. So, but I think Japan was probably the best World War II Axis power by the fact that they started fighting years before Germany did in China. They fought the longest of any of the superpowers that fought in World War II. They are a small island nation that is resource poor and that was behind technologically for almost all of World War II. I know, right? They had to figure out logistics to fight. It was like something like almost 24 fronts, which is hard to say. They fought more enemies than any other country. They fought. It's like some of the stuff that I had to learn about Japan and how they fought so long with some of the stuff they had was just appalling. So Germany's basically longest front was from basically Berlin to Moscow is about 1,000 miles. Okay. That's about the longest the battlefield ever got for Germany. It's about 1,000 miles. Okay. For Japan, it was more like 4,500 miles, and they had to figure out the logistics for that. Which just boggles my mind as a small, resource-poor island nation. You know what I mean? And just some of the stuff that I had to learn about. So, like, you know, the famous Mitsubishi Zero. That plane, so the Mitsubishi factory they were being made at, didn't have any access to the sea, to rail, or anything like that to transport these planes, actually, as they were rolling out the assembly line. So, for one, each plane was basically handmade by, like, artisans. It wasn't made by machines and stuff like that for the most part. They were basically all handmade for pretty long into World War II. And you couldn't transport these planes by truck because they were too fragile. And there wasn't a rail line or water access to the Mitsubishi factory that was making the Zero. So what they would do is they would make these planes and they would drag them on their landing gear, like on their wheels, 25 miles to a runway, because they didn't have a runway at this factory, with oxen through all of World War II and stuff like that. And it boggles my mind, the stuff they had to do. And they managed to conquer an empire that was like 5 times the size the German Empire ever made it out to be, and stuff like that in World War II, and it just boggles my mind, the stuff that they had to go through and how they managed to fight so long and last so long with like limited manpower resources and manufacturing and stuff like that. And I've just been reading so much about that. So that's right. Gotta have that high morale. The Japanese did. So the Mitsubishi Zero was made at a factory that did not have a runway or rail access or water access. So they would make all these Mitsubishi Zeros basically by hand with artisans for like the whole of World War II, and then they would pull them 25 miles on their landing gear with oxen because they were too fragile to be loaded onto trucks. So the whole war, the Mitsubishi factory that the Zero was being made at did not have a landing strip, did not have a rail yard, and did not have water access. So they would pull these Zeros from the factory 25 miles to a landing strip before they could take off and go do their thing. I know, right? And Japan fought from like 1933 until 1945 on that. They lasted a lot longer than Germany. They had a battlefield that was almost 5 times the size they had to figure out the logistics for than Germany had. So well, it got to a point actually where I was reading a story about a supply guy whose job it was during World War II to make sure the Zeros safely got from the Mitsubishi factory to the runway. About how in about 1944 they started to not be able to get enough grain to feed the oxen to pull the planes. So exactly. So, but the Mitsubishi factory didn't have enough water access to transport planes though either. So they pulled them 25 miles like down the road with oxen. So, but I also bunch of helmets. But I just figured so like I recently changed from what I thought was the best Axis power being Germany to Japan. Now, there's a lot of resources that should support that is Japan. And I recently switched from my favorite, like I think most powerful Allied helmet, like Allied superpower during World War II, from America to the Soviet Union. So just thought, that'd be some food for thought. And if everyone agreed with me, or if they had their own opinions on this or that, That's all. That's what I was doing while I was sitting in my work truck all day, was just listening to podcasts, listening to audiobooks, listening to all this shit because I have nothing better to do. I'm just driving halfway across the state. So, but like, they fought 3 times as long as Germany, had commanded a empire that was 5 times the size, and it's like, bam, Tom's getting more fucking uniforms. All right. Did you find a tailor for your other one yet? Gonna bring that in and do it? I got a lot of projects I should be doing, but I'm living out of the hotels again, so this is my one day home this week right here. So the Mark IV helmet and the Mark III helmet are the same except for the liner attachment. So on the Mark III, it's riveted in place, and on the Mark IV, it's switched to a lift the dot stud. So the whole like suspension is held in place with one lift the dot stud at the crown on the Mark IV. A long ass time, ACM, a very long ass time. But a lot of countries use battle dress for quite a long time after World War II. Is the Mark? No, the Mark IV is actually a pretty good helmet, actually. That's whatever. The placement of the chin strap rivets are kind of so-so. Because it's still a 2-point chin strap. So where the rivets are, it doesn't really change the effectiveness of the helmet. It's still just a 2-point chin strap. But 2012. Goddamn. Norway, you got to spend some money. That's what I'm saying. Norway's got to spend some goddamn money on shit, it sounds like. There are different models of Ushankas. There's actually, I think, like 50 or 60 if you look at over all the years and different like materials they're made out of and different assembly methods. There's quite a few. Ooh, no, synthetic battle dress ish. Get out of here. Nobody likes synthetic fibers. Synthetic fibers are bad. They're real bad. I think we all can agree on that. The Paratrooper helmets. I've only ever got to like hold one. I haven't ever got to experience it, unfortunately. Well, they didn't really have like a specific model designation. It was just winter hat, basically. Yeah, I wish I had one. I wish I had a Mark II Paratrooper helmet. That'd be really, really sweet. Yeah, they just because Russia's kind of the same thing like that. So like right now, Russia has two kinds of ammo they're using in Ukraine, even to this day, two kinds of ammo. They have non-corrosive and corrosive, and they don't actually even have anything in their supply lines that designates between the two. There's no markings or designations to designate between the two kinds of ammo. The corrosive ammo, which can harm your rifle with prolonged use without maintenance, and the non-corrosive ammo, because Russia actually still makes both depending on the factory that it's coming from. So they don't actually have a designation between the two. Well, 545 by 39 and 762 by 39 are two separate rounds, and they do designate that, but they also make both in corrosive and non-corrosive variations. So, but they don't actually have anything to designate ammo as corrosive or non-corrosive. They just call it all the same thing. So, because the Russians are very simple like that, and they just expect you to clean your gun, I guess. You know what I mean? Just how it be, just how it be. I do have an Austrian M75. I have a whole video on it, actually, a fairly recent one. Whole video on it. Got a lot of Austrian stuff, a lot of cool Austrian stuff. I got an Austrian F2. I actually am in the middle of restoring an Austrian M17 helmet as well. So they've had CAD-PAT and multicam for a long time, and the CM735 is just a revision. It's basically a Virtus helmet, but with a different chin strap. So, bam, P40 M1 Garands. Not the Krag. Come on, Tom. You got to keep the Krag. Norway should have kept the Krag. Got to do it. Got to keep that Krag Jorgensen. The best rifle Norway ever made. The Krag Jorgensen. The Krag Jorgensen. It's the best rifle Norway ever made. It's probably my favorite M1 clone as well. Who has the best helmet in the world? Depends on what you're doing, because that's subjective. Depends on where you live and how rare they are, and obviously what the price is. So, yeah, it's a neat helmet. That was a good chunk of change I spent restoring that helmet. So, but it's a neat piece now, and I'm glad I have it. It's sitting right over there, actually. But right next to my Italian paratrooper helmet and a Vietnam era paratrooper M1 that I'm still looking to sell. Nobody's made me an offer on it. Good enough offer, anyways. So, well, that's still subjective. Still subjective, Nigel. Incredibly subjective there. Very subjective. That's right. The M1s are very good. Nice two-piece design, complicated to make. Yeah, I usually do, except I just carry it in my pocket. Normally just carry it in my pocket, Joe. It's the way to do her. You don't stick out like a boomer fud, carrying a gun on your hip. I only carry steel on my hip, which I don't have any plastic guns, so that's kind of true, I guess. But nope, just throw her in my pocket. Because it's easier to make. That's why. Because it's easier to make. That's why they used a spike bayonet. And it also doubles as a flathead screwdriver. So yeah, it uses a lot less resources, and it's not as time consuming to make. That's why they kept the spike for so long. What helmet would I bring? I would bring a very, very nice cotton hat. Yeah. For what? Most soldiers had their own knives. Why would you need? And besides, most bayonets are actually really bad at also being knives because they're beefed up so much to not break that they're kind of too bulky to be precise with. Most of them. There's some that are okay, but a lot of them are just too big and bulky. And melee, I would want my knife on the end of my gun if I'm going into melee, because then I could keep him over there. I don't want to have to get this close to him. I want him to be, end of a rifle close. That's much better than being right here close to like stab him. So, bam. There you go. Pasget helmet. Pasget helmet's great. My permit renewed? For what? I'll have to take a look at it here, Jake, whenever I get closer to my phone. My carry permit? For what? I'm in my home. So. Check on my taters. See how my taters are doing. They're roasting up good. Good. You think what? You think what, Nigel? What do you think? What do you think is the thing we got to think about? I also got my fancy pantsy new woodland trousers on. Fancy new with the nice stretchy relief points in them. Very nice, I would say. Best AK clone, Hungarian AMD 63. You can all get naked and dance as much as you want. I'm gonna stay clothed for now though. Nope. Never used. The Canadians never used M1 Grands other than the Special Service Force. Well, there are pictures actually of Canadians holding M1 carbines and M1 rifles, but a lot of that was supply chain. It was never like adopted. So, unfortunately. Oh, not much. Just hanging out, making some food. Talking about Japan. Talking about helmets. Talking about camouflage. Talking about cool Soviet hip guns. Waiting for taters and stuff to catch up. Well, every military is a meme, to be fair. M81 Woodland is the best camouflage, thank you. It's my personal favorite. So I have a lot of Woodland. Which actually brings me to another project I've been working on. I'll give you guys a sneak peek because it's a live stream. Take a look at this fucking beauty. Take a look at this beauty right here. This beautiful, beautiful Cry airframe with a Woodland cover. Just because I like Woodland that much. That much. It's a Cry airframe, ultra high molecular weight polyethylene helmet with a Woodland cover. Rain camo is pretty good. I think the best version of rain camo is the Bulgarian version, though. So yeah. The East German one's probably the worst one, to be honest. Size 4? What size is that? Is that size Dutch 12-year-old girl? Because that's what I'm built like. World War III, we're all going to die when that happens. All of us. As a humanity. We're going to set the atmosphere on fire. And we're all boned. Camouflage is actually also a very personal favorite of mine as well. I think it's a super cool camouflage. I really do. So, and I love the like history behind it and the reasoning as to like why it was adopted. So, let's check the taters out. We'll give them a poke and a prod and a stab and a penetration. See if they're soft yet. Oh no, we got a long ways to go. And a short time to get there. Why not? Just because we can. M1 Grand? Who likes the M1 Grand? The only good thing about the M1 Grand is that it was developed by Canadian. Fun fact. Fun fact there. The frog skin. The Bulgarian frog skin. I think it's a great... And it comes in that cool onesie. With the very pointy, like, Klansman hood on it. Bam! Alpenflage is great. Probably with scissors and a, like, sewing needle and some thread and some other stuff. He did, because he did it all in service to his adopted country, America. M1 helmet vid. See, we're talking about the M1 lock bars. Now, the problem America has is when you say M1, you have to differentiate between the 90 M1s that there are. Because America is incredibly unoriginal when it comes to naming shit. I'm just saying, America's got to like fucking. Somebody should go back and punch all the people in the Pentagon right in the dick that decided that M1 was a good fucking name for everything. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. The M1 it has its flaws too. An M33 clone, like the Bulgarian one? The Bulgarian one? Are you talking about the even cooler, more rare than the Italian one, the Greek one, the M34? A lot of people don't know about that, but the Greeks in 1934 would buy a bunch of helmets from Italy that vaguely resembled the M33. So I want somebody to make a shirt that says the greatest battle implement ever devised, and it's just a fucking shot out Mosin 9130, because it's back-to-back world champs and basically every single fucking conflict since 1895. There's still Mosins out there fighting, like today in Ukraine. So, just saying, it's there. The greatest battle implement ever devised, and I just want somebody to put a fucking 9130 fucking 1943 dated Tula fucking garbage rod. So, no, it's got the best shit. Look at those two fucking Mosins. Look at them two sexy ass Mosins on there. The fucking best rifle ever made. Because there's two of them for the next most produced rifle. So those are actually all British helmets that the Portuguese were given. And the reason they were given that is because that helmet performed horrendously. So all of those little ridges in it would actually catch shrapnel and stuff. They do have a couple different Scots regiments. So they also have a couple different French regiments and a bunch of different other cool stuff as well. Got a lot of neat shit. I would love to have one of those Portuguese M16 helmets. They're kind of few and far between because they weren't made out of very good steel. They were made out of very soft steel. They were kind of an economy version of the Brody. They all had a raw edge, and they had a bunch of little holes punched through the circumference of the dome that directly stitched to the suspension. So, yeah, the Canadian Army uses a bunch of different weapons. Bunch of them. Tons of them. Gajillions of them. Nigel's just pulling us along. He's just being difficult because he likes to be. That's what I think. I think Nigel's just trying to string us along. That's all. That's okay though. I can handle it. I can handle a bit of some stringing along, you know. Ain't no thing. Bam. Some of that delicious in there. Some of that delicious nectar of the gads. It's okay, Nigel. I 100% believe you. As a benevolent God King, Emperor of mankind, I 100% believe you. This one time. I'm still the God Emperor. Unless somebody wants to, like, fight me. I've been doing nothing but pull-ups for a long time. This isn't even its true form. This is only 1 week of growth on this mustache. This is heinous. This is as weak as this mustache gets. Nah, I'm just messing around, basically. Just wearing it to wear it. Bauer. I mean, you're probably not wrong there, Abraham. I think an argument could be made for that. Mormons. I love the Mormons. They're one of my favorite religions. They're cool. You guys in your fucking super cool glass church out there. Chick-fil-A's all right. I think it's a bit overhyped for what it is. I don't think it's as good as people seem to really think it is. You know what I mean? Like it's an all right chicken sandwich, but like it's a chicken sandwich. I love the Mormons. They're cool. They're great people. They don't drink, which is kind of interesting. Like, yeah. Well, that's because so Cooey, after they would go under, they would be bought out by Winchester, and Winchester, almost all of Winchester's little 22 designs, after like the 1940s, would be Cooey's, just marked Winchester. The hockey stick. I was waiting for a lock bars. I didn't want to spoil it, but the worst World War II rifle. Oh God, easily fucking hands down has to be the goddamn K98. It's a piece of shit. So I got mushrooms with red wine and garlic going. I have a beautiful piece of mignon coming up to temp here, seasoned, pre-seasoned, and I have some potatoes, some little creamer potatoes, roasting in the oven, and then I'm going to put all that on a nice big bed of mustard greens, and eat some healthiness, and that way the mustard greens can kind of absorb the leftover olive oil and salt from the potatoes and stuff like that, and the beautiful juice from the steak. So. The Carcano is fucking amazing for what it is. If you don't know anything about the Carcano is like the AK-47 of bolt action rifles. Carcano does have a round bullet. You know who else had a round bullet? The Austrians. And when everyone was adopting Spitzer, the poor countries were like, we can't afford to. And Austria definitely could afford to go in like 1905 to Spitzer bullets, but the French are like pointed bullets. Germans are like pointed bullets. The Russians are like pointed bullets. And the Austrians are like, how do we get this bullet to explode when it hits somebody? And they did. They actually made ammo full of like priming agent that when it would hit somebody would explode like regular infantry rounds. Yes, a Carcano. It's like it's a weird model. It was like a 9138. So yeah, in the M95, they developed rounds for the M95 Mannlicher that would explode when they would hit people, because everyone was like, pointed bullets are the new thing, and Austria's like, ha! The M95, I think, is like, well, it's probably my favorite rifle of both World War I and World War II. It's pretty bad. So, right. Take it easy, femboy. Take it easy. Yeah, I just love everyone's like, pointed bullets are the new hot thing, and Austria's like, watch this, and they make fucking bullets that explode. You know, so it's just how it is. They just decided that was the thing. Exploding bullets was the fucking way to go. You know, based on how fucking cool everyone says that sounds, I think they had it right. They're just kind of complicated to make, complicated and expensive to make, you know. We're getting there. Potatoes are getting there. They need a couple more minutes. We can start warming up our skillet to fry our steak in. Taters. Let them taters get to tatering. The AVS-36 sucked because it was too complicated and it jammed too often. It's trash. It wasn't the Mosin Nagant. So therefore, it's trash. So that works. Trash. Set that for a nice cushy medium high. We'll use some of the expensive oil, the roasted walnut oil. Searing our steak in. The Moist Nugget. It's the best rifle of both world wars because there was two of them for everyone else's rifles. That's why. Everyone's like, the Mosin sucks. Yes, but if you have 5 of them and the soldiers to fill them, that is much better than one K98. That's all I have to tell you. So you could have all the fucking Mauser 98s you want, all right? But if you can, only have 1 to 5 fucking Mosins, I'd rather have 5 goddamn Mosins and the people to fill them than 1 guy in a K98. I'm just saying. That's why the Mosin's the best. It's by sheer fucking numbers at all. It wins by a lot. It is the single most mass-produced firearm in history. So, like, the AK-47 and all of its variants, okay? Like the AKM and all that other good shit, the AK-74, everything that's derived from the AK-47, okay, made by every country ever, still doesn't add up to the number of Mosins that were made. By, like, a lot. So, the 903 was actually, yes, a very, very good rifle because it was a Mauser 98 with, like, the super nice Buffington battle computer target sights, which I really like. I like fucking microscopic rifle sights. And the 1903 with the Buffington sights is pretty great. The PPS 43, I mean, the best submachine gun Russia ever made was the PPD 40, which is the one that nobody ever knows about. Everyone's like, the PPSH 41 and the PPS 43. No. PPD 40 was the best submachine gun Russia ever made. Nope, PPD 40. So the PPD 40 is a PPD 38, but it's got a little bit more refinement done to it. So it was before they really started cheapening everything out. So I wish I had a Lanchester with a 1907 bayonet. A parts kit came up the other day, but the receiver was cut. So on it, and I was like, I could pay somebody to weld it back up and put together this fucking Lanchester and put the 1907 bayonet on it, but like the guy was asking way too much for what it was because it would have needed so much work, and he wanted like $1,700 for it, and I probably would have gave him like $900, but he was not budgeting at all. So it looks basic till you realize it has 1,000 rounds a minute of like fire rate, and it shoots 7.62 by 25 Tokarev. And it's just a fucking all-around scary, like, heavy, beautifully machined fucking wood stocked, no recoil at all, fucking laser beam bullet hose. So, yeah, it's like, you know how the Finns had the KP-31 Suomi? That's what inspired the PPD-40. So it's a fucking beautifully machined, heavy as fuck, long time to reduce, expensive fucking just bullet hose. It had no fucking recoil. You could just spray that thing and it would just shoot as fast as, like 1,000 rounds a minute. They're like so fucking fast. So I know, right? I wish, but you also live in the place where they were made. I live all the way across an entire ocean. The Mass 38 is pretty good. And the Mass 36, a lot of people are sleeping on French guns. French guns are fantastic. Beautiful. Actually, they're usually like fucking hideous, but yeah, I like French guns. I'm a fan. Not as big of a fan as I am of Russian guns, so Russian guns are the way to go. They got it figured out. All right, so we're gonna take our steak here. We're gonna get her going. Get her going good. Oh, I forgot to set my timer. My first military item was a surplus American 1970s M1 helmet. Take my beautiful mustard green. This big ass bag of mustard greens. There's a lot of those on there. Yeah, but the sterling, Jake. Come on now. The sterling. And besides, they didn't have anywhere near the fucking Lanchesters as they had Webleys. So they had an absolute fucking piss ton of Webleys. Absolute piss ton of Webleys. More Webleys than they fucking knew what to do with. They don't take up as much room. They're a lot easier to maintain, and they had so much shit sitting around that was British surplus from like the fucking Boer Wars and stuff. Just a fuck ton of Webleys. So a lot of 38 Webleys. A lot of the Canadian Navy had a piss ton of 38 Webleys. The Borchardt, the Pre-Luger, the Swedish K. That's a good gun. Swedish K is a great gun. Well, I think anything Lanchester is stupid fucking money because they didn't make a shit ton of them. The Swedish Mauser, I think, so like the Swedish M96 is, I think, the best Mauser ever made. I really do. I think it is. I mean, I kind of want to see a KP31 now, Tom, in 45 ACP. No, the Sten is garbage. A lot of people don't know that. The Sten is horrible. It's propped up by like national pride. It's actually a fucking horrible gun. It's an awful gun. A lot of people don't know, but like there's actually a lot of people that like British soldiers that wrote about it like in diaries and journals and stuff like that. It's fucking horrible. So the submachine gun that came before the Sten, the Lanchester, great submachine gun, fantastic, one of the best probably. And the Sterling, which kind of came in literally like in 1945, was a much better gun than the Sten ever was. Fair. People just want them basically, and it drives the prices up. I get it. Depends on where you are, but Canada's a big country, so you have regional accents, just like the United States. And the Sterling was used into the 2000s. So cool. The Sten was used for like 10 years, and the Sterling was used for 60. The L4 Bren, yeah, the 762 Bren. I don't know, something about 303 British, but I'm a big fan of rimmed for her pleasure. You know, I kind of like rimmed for her pleasure rounds. The Sterling, I think, is just a much better gun than the Sten ever was, and not a lot of people, I think, will really argue with me on that. I mean, the Sten's a good gun for what they had. For what the British could make and what they needed to turn out really fast. The Sten, it got the job done most of the time. But the Sterling was a much better gun. And the Lanchester was a much better gun. Just how it was. That's right, it is. We're making food too. The Olin is also one of those guns that's propped up by national pride. It's actually not that great either. They can be. The SVD-40 had a lot going for it, but it was kind of hampered by its manufacturing quality. So, The Ishapore. I've got 2 Ishapores actually, and I love them. So I fucking love my Ishapore. People are sleeping on the Ishapore. They're cheaper than all the other Lee Enfields because people think they're made worse, but they were like inspected by the British and made with like British machinery, so they're all exactly the same. There's some machine marks like inside the receiver and stuff that like in places where it doesn't matter that are kind of rough looking, but like it's a fully functional SMLE that you can get for way cheap. So what do you mean? Like on the mushrooms, they're off. They're on like low. They're just staying around. What are you talking about, Max? Yeah, the Ishapores are great though. Well, yeah, it had a little groove for the finger. So you didn't need a. It saved metal, and you didn't need a charging handle then. Just how it be. It's all you need. It's all you need. It gets the job done, doesn't it? Bam. One fillet steak. Move some of my mustard greens over here. My Fury reference. Nobody cares about Fury. That's a terrible movie. Brad Pitt should be ashamed. Should be fucking horrendously ashamed. He should be. I would be for that disaster. I fucking would be. The best thing Brad Pitt ever did was Angelina Jolie. I don't even like Angelina Jolie that much. Hot take, I know. We can all agree, and I won't hear any argument otherwise. Jarhead is the best war movie that's ever been made. Hands down. Because it's the most real. By like a significant margin, it's the most real. So. Well, like a very massive, significant margin, it's real. It's the most real. Jarhead is the best war movie ever made. Perfect. There we go. Dinner served. What do you mean? Ah, I see. But it's real. That's the cool thing about it, Abraham. It's real. Jacking off in 120-degree porta-john, it's real. It happens all the time. All right. Well, I appreciate you stopping by, Como. I really do. So I hope I was entertaining. I hope a lot of my videos were entertaining. I hope you stop by for a future live stream. All right, you guys want to see what dinner was here? See how good I did. cut into my beautiful. Oh no, there's a tendon in my fillet steak. I don't like that. I paid good money. Paid good money for this. All right, that's okay though. I'll cut around it. Are you guys ready to see what I'm having for dinner and being relatively healthy? This isn't. This is the one day I get to be home this week to eat, so I went kind of fancy on it. You guys can let me know what you think. I made way too much for one person, but beautiful roasted olive oil and sea salt mashed potatoes, mustard greens, red wine, garlic, sautéed mushrooms. Beautiful, nice rare filet mignon. So that's right. Being real healthy today. I'm not doing so much. So got a nice crust on the filet mignon too. Get that nice, beautiful texture. Perfectly pink. Probably doesn't show up on my kind of whitewash camera, but it's very perfectly pink. So. It's like if you made a cow into butter. That's how delicious that is. There, I can let everyone know how dinner turned out. That way all my vegetarian friends can be upset with me. Hello, Bob. Welcome. Greetings. Salutations. Nice, beautiful, rare piece of filet steak. Oh, man. Well, it shows up on that one. Very red. You could almost smell the sadness on it. Boy, is that good. That's how you have to do filet, though, because there's no fat in filet. And it goes from being rare to like well done in like 30 seconds. So you have to do filet rare because it's like, and don't give me that bullshit about it's undercooked, you're gonna get tapeworms and stuff. No, that's not how it works. That's not how meat works. You've been indoctrinated into thinking that, and it's not true. So just fucking cook your filet rare. Right? I normally cook most of my steaks. Like if I'm getting a ribeye, I like a medium. I like medium. But filet has to be rare in order for it to not be like tough. There you go. Japanese M1 clones. All right. Yeah, more people need to learn how to cook. That's for sure. Cooking's easy. Cooking's very easy. People just gotta enjoy it a little bit. You gotta make it a hobby. You gotta want to. You know what I mean? Beautiful. There you go, Bob. It'll go with all your lightweight rucksacks. I'm off for the first part of tomorrow. I got a lot of stuff to do. I got to run. I got to see if my SIG 210 comes into the gun store or not, because I'd very much like to pick that up. So that'd be really cool, Max. Gotta love them that spicy lettuce, those mustard greens, you know. People are sleeping on the spicy lettuce. I already saw it, and I never said it wasn't worth it. I love the 5.7 cartridge. It's great. I think the P90 is great. I think it's a very, very cool PDW. The only problem with the 5.7 is I wish more shit came in 5.7, so it was more available. You know what I mean? Take it easy, Max. It depends on when you want to do it, Jake. All right, take it easy, Tom. Sleep well. I knew Caltech made a nice 5.7 handgun. Well, I'll be up tomorrow at like 2:30 a.m. I'll go for like a 6 or 7 mile run. I'll make breakfast. I'll pay a bunch of bills, and stuff, and I'll have to see. I'll have to see what I have going on because I'm relying a lot on like some tracking times and stuff to show up. So. And people are sleeping on the spicy lettuce. Todd, what do you think about mustard greens? I haven't asked you a question in a long time for your opinion. Yeah, because if I got stuff I got to pick up tomorrow, I either won't be able to stay long, or we'll have to do it like early in the morning for me. Or at least here for the Americans, it really won't be early in the morning for me because my sleep schedule is so messed up. I love mustard greens. Mustard greens are spicy lettuce. That's what it is. I'm trying to be healthy, so I'm a big fan of the mustard greens. Gotta get that spicy lettuce. People are sleeping on the spicy lettuce. I'll probably have some of this for breakfast too. Yeah, after the stream here, I'll probably do like 50 pull-ups and go to bed. That's the plan. That's the plan anyways. Todd, did you hear I bought a SIG 210? No, I'm on the same crappy route out in Wilmer this week. This is the one day I have to come home. They send me home Tuesday night to sleep in my bed Wednesday night to go back to Wilmer Wednesday morning, so that way they can make me work on my other day off on Sunday. Because if I'm out of town all week, the contract says that I can't work on my second day off. But if they send me home for one night, even though it's only one night, and I really don't get time to do anything else other than make dinner and sleep, then I can work Sunday. They can make me work Sunday according to the contract. So, which kind of sucks. They're fucking me hard, but. And I don't have a route that's like mine. I just go around and clean up stuff. It is a single stack. It's a 8 round, so it's 8 plus 1 9mm. Perfect. I could probably like swing. How about we shoot for like 6 a.m. my time? And I can hang out for like 2 to 3 hours probably before everything opens. So, because everything kind of opens between 8 and 9 o'clock here to go do stuff. So they are, and I'm like, this one was like, it's one of the new ones, so it's like made in America with like American steel and like American walnut grips and stuff. It's like I was like, all right, hell yeah, and I got a really good deal on it because a guy bought it for like his carry gun. Some older dude bought it for his carry gun, and he didn't like it. He didn't like how the capacity was so low. He didn't like that it was only like 8 rounds. He didn't like how expensive the magazines were because they're like $50 a piece. And he didn't like how heavy it was because it's like 36 ounces. So he bought it and he shot it a couple times, and then he was like, I want to get rid of it. And he had it listed for like $900, and I said, I'll give you $750 for it, plus whatever the shipping and taxes and stuff are. And he's like, okay. So, and he gave me the FedEx tracking number yesterday. So it should be hopefully showing up. It'll show up either late tomorrow or Thursday, and I won't be able to pick it up till Saturday. So, all right, Jake, it's a date then. Sounds good. Sounds like a plan. Make sure you send me a reminder in the morning, so I don't get. I know, right? Because it's like a $1,300 MSRP gun. So I didn't expect him to like take my offer. I expected him to give me like the typical boomer, like I know what I got and stuff like that, But he couldn't return it because he shot it, a couple times. So I was like, I'll get a gun that's had like a box of ammo shot through it and fucking get it for half price, basically. Because it's like I think the MSRP on it's like $1,250 or something like that. It's a very expensive fucking handgun. So I'm getting it for probably after the transfer and a couple boxes of ammo, like 2 boxes of ammo for it. I'll probably have it down for like $850. So fair enough, Jake. Fair enough. Yep, they basically took the P49 and they gave it modern sights, an American style mag release, which is the button up by the magwell rather than the heel. I actually really like the heel release though, and they gave it a beaver tail. Other than that, it's pretty much a P49. So. That's right. I think Sigmic's probably the best handgun you can get here in the United States, to be fair. Those mustard greens, when they absorb all the like steak juice. It's neither. It's the standard version. So it's not the target or the carry, it's the standard, which is basically the target but with fixed sights and the walnut grips rather than the black plastic grips. So yeah, I was like, fucking perfect. All right. So I'm anxious to get that. Yep, and it comes with the hard case, the cleaning kit, 6 magazines, and because this guy bought extra mags for him. Yeah, it comes with the full cleaning kit, the instruction manual, the brand new hard case, and 6 magazines. So I don't know about you, Kill Dude, but I mean, my go-to carry gun before I get the SIG is going to be the best carry gun. Freaking can't go wrong with the toke. Beautiful, the Beautimus toke. Yeah, considering the standard, the SIG 210. Yeah, the SIG 210 comes with 2 mags. All right, and it comes with a little like cleaning rod and a case. This comes with like the nice case that has like the extra cleaning kit, so it comes with like oil and stuff like that, and like the places for the extra mags and like a box of ammo, and then the gun itself and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, I got a pretty fucking sweet deal on it, so I can't wait for it to show up. Oh no, the CZ52 is inferior to the TT33. We all know that. We all know that. See, because I wanted to get a single stack because I have baby hands. So my baby hands make a lot of the double stacks too big. And then my other problem was I don't like polymer because I wanted to buy a gun. I don't want to have to worry about banging into it and everything like that for like a shit ton of years. You know what I mean? So I wanted to buy a gun that was like steel, that I could change the sights out on that I wanted, and it was in a nice common caliber, and I don't have to worry about beating up on it. And so I was like, fucking SIG 210 for $800. Why not? Fucking let's go. So with a bunch of extra mags and shit, it's like, take my money. And the guy's like, okay. I mean, I wish. Webleys are expensive here in America. They're like $1,000. Because if I could get a Webley Mark 6, I would fucking carry a Webley Mark 6. Because why the fuck not? On Kevin over there, he's got a Webley holster on. So the good old Webley Fosbury. We were talking about the Webley 32 ACP self loader. I would also take one of those. Come on, mustard greens. Well, I agree, Todd, but it's the same people that like I carry a 45. You know, so they actually also made, Jake, if you didn't notice, Webley also actually made a smaller version that was shrunk down in 32 ACP. That was a thing. But yeah, I agree. I even think so. Like my favorite pistol cartridge is 32 ACP because getting shot's getting shot in the end. And I like how it's a tiny fucking gun that has like 2 moving fucking parts in the whole thing. It doesn't need a locking surface. It doesn't need like anything. All right, so it's going to go off because it has like nothing in it. There's nothing to 32 ACP handguns, and they're so tiny and concealable. And there's so many of them out there. There's like an ocean of 32 ACP handguns out there. You know, getting shot's getting shot. So, well, I mean, depends because 40 is 10 millimeter. You know, or are you talking like 10 by 25? You know, because like 45 is 11.43, so it's a bigger bullet. You know, but it's not a bigger cartridge. So you're talking like 10 millimeter auto, right? Yeah, 10 millimeter auto, I think is way too fucking big. So, no, to be fair, I like 7.62 Tokarev because it goes through most body armor. But what about my man Stopper? I agree. But if we're going off that logic, 32 ACP has killed more world leaders than anything else. Just saying. 32 ACP killed Adolf Hitler. Just remember that. So. No other handgun around the world can claim that. 32 ACP killed Hitler. That's fine. They shouldn't have been standing there. And also, that's why I got. It's also why I got these babies. Yeah, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, he was killed by a 32 ACP. You know, like people are sleeping on 32 ACP. It's killed more world leaders and stuff than people seem to. Know. So it's definitely proven to be the bane of world leader existence. That's for sure. Yeah, got about 1,500 7.62 by 25 hollow points. So Tokarev fucking moves. It's trucking. Tokarev is definitely trucking. It's a real lightweight bullet. Moving. They're moving that thing. So. Yeah, but you're also, you know, getting shot. That in the end, so like I've never understood the whole like arguments about caliber because 9mm is not going to go through body armor because that's pretty much the standard body armor is rated for. 32 ACP is not going to go through body armor. Okay, so that means they're essentially the same because getting shot's getting shot. You get shot in the face by either of those, you're dead. You know, you get winged in the arm, that arm's probably mostly incapacitated. You know, you're shot in the leg, you're shot in the leg. It's going to do the same thing, but you can get a smaller package. Okay, and stuff like that. But like the only thing that I really think makes a pistol cartridge better than others is will it go through body armor. So you have every single pistol round that will not, and you have every single pistol round that will, and that is how you can choose your fucking pistol round. Okay, because at regular pistol engagement distances, you have will pierce body armor and won't pierce body armor. All right, what do you want? That's it. And you have a massive group to pick from down here, and you got a little group to pick from up here. That's it. So, and I wear a Tokarev because fuck them either way. That's why. Tokarev's the way to go because it's cheap. Should be cheap as fuck. Tokarev be cheap as hell. There's a lot of guns out there, and there's a lot of parts out there for Tokarevs. That's what I like about them. You freaking go. Can't, you know. It's one of the only body armor piercing cartridges that's seen a world war. So. I too recently got a tow coaster. It's a beautiful vertical Kydex one. Came all the way from Slovakia. Thank you. Yeah, it's just made by some guy in a garage in Slovakia. It's actually really, really nice. It was like a $15 holster, but it's actually like really thick Kydex. And the barrel rivets on it are like extra fucking thick and chunky. So it's like a really fucking nice holster for what I paid. My only gripe is that the clips on it that like go on the belt are plastic rather than metal, but I could just replace those with metal ones. So he said it's all made to standard size. So if you wanted to like put it like a tech lock or something on it or different clips or whatever, he's like, they all should line up real easy. And I'm like, that's fucking cool, dude. And yeah, he was like, I hope you're happy with it. It should work for the rest of your life. And I'm like, all right. Hell yeah. So mine's a Type 54, and I bought it last year for $200. So the M57s, the Yugoslavian ones, are getting really expensive, and the magazines for them are getting really, really expensive. So about the Type 54. The M57 is the Yugoslavian one. The Type 54 is the Chinese one. And it takes standard parts. So the Type 54 will take Soviet parts, Romanian parts, Chinese parts, a bunch of other stuff. And there's actually even some kits out there to convert the Type 54 Chinese ones to 9mm. You could drop a 9mm barrel in them and get a different magazine, and they will shoot 9x19 with a pretty easy conversion kit. And then I like them because they're pretty much the cheapest ones out there still. And then the magazines, I bought 10 magazines, and they were I got them for $9 a piece. So whereas the M57s, they have a 9-round magazine, and their magazines are like $40 a piece. But all the regular Tokarevs are going to have an 8-round magazine. So I'm just saying it's an option out there for people that want to, do it. You can get a different barrel, and you could get 9mm magazines, and you could just convert your Tokarev to run 9mm just fine. So some people like that variability. I like 7.62x25, but some people like the availability of 9. 7.62x25 isn't as common as 9x19. So just how it be. Yeah, I know you know. I'm just explaining for everyone else. But it's just something neat. Ballister Molina is a good handgun. Kong has one actually. Kong really likes his, like a lot. I got to shoot Kongs when he came out here. It's all right. It's all right. It ain't no llama, that's for sure. The llama is the best fucking 1911 variation. hard to beat the llama when it comes to best fucking 1911. Just saying. I mean, you say that, but have you seen most of his guns? You say that, but like, have you seen most of his guns? I'm just saying. What's wrong with his hair? He can do whatever he wants with his hair. It ain't no Tokarev, though. Yep, it's the Argentinian copy of the 1911, but it gets rid of the fucking stupid gay-ass grip safety and stuff, so it's like a simplified 1911. So they're pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. I'd say it's probably one of the better 1911s just because I don't like the grip safety. Grip safeties are bad. Either just have a fucking manual safety or be like the Wordle and just have a 20 fucking pound trigger. 1911 or high power? I would take a high power over a 1911. South America's got a lot of shit people are sleeping on. That's all I gotta say. People are really sleeping on South American stuff. That's for sure. All right, we'll go for a few more minutes here because I'm getting pretty tired. It's an hour past my bedtime, according to my watch. So, gotta go take a nap. Try to keep my sleep schedule relatively on track because I have to wake up very early Thursday morning. So, we'll go get one. Come on, Kill Dude, get one. Get one. You could do it. Just pay for it with cash money or sexual favors, which I think is a very valid form of currency. I'm sure that's probably a lot of like COVID restrictions and stuff like that. And they were all bought up and people are holding on to them until new batches start rolling in and stuff. It's probably going to be few and far between. So, but I gotta save my money. I gotta buy a computer here. I gotta get rid of this terrible laptop and get like a full blown like PC tower. That's the thing. It's my next purchase. I think depending on how big this check's going to be on Friday, I might do it. I might do it. I mean that. Well, I mean, Kill Dude. Maybe if your unit had better leadership, that wouldn't be a problem. Just saying. I'll tell you what, though, if the Army wants to send me off to OCS and pay me some good money, I'll come. For one, raise morale. It's one thing I'm really good at, raising morale. And for two, we'll get them straightened out. We'll get them straightened out real good. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Oh, geez. Picked a good time, though. Nothing's going on right now. Yeah, the Army needs people, and they're fucking paying for it. Boy, will they pay out the ass for it. So, and might as well fucking keep dipping into those fucking benefits, get them cushy government benefits, take advantage of the fact that there isn't any war right now, and fucking start just cashing in. Just cash it right on in, you know what I mean? So that's what I would do. Fuck yeah. Too bad I'm going to work for the government again, but different. So well, yeah, it's the military kill, dude. Like, duh. Full send, exactly. That's where it's at. That's where all the cool people are. You don't want to be some active schmuck, you know, some fucking butter bar hanging out in Germany, not even able to go anywhere. That's like rock bottom. Rock bottom, that's what that is. Well, yeah, stuff's falling apart, but the whole country's falling apart. So that's how it is. How it be. So, ooh, ooh, that's fair, kill dude. That's fair. He's a full-on firsty now. He's a full-on firsty. Trying for a new guy. I just got told yesterday that it's mine. I has it. It's mine. It's all mine. It and its cushy fucking benefits. It's very, very fucking good cushy benefits and money. I'm not at liberty to say just yet. Actually, it's probably going to be a couple months before I give any details on it. So, because there's still some hoops and hurdles to jump through. So, still some hoops and hurdles to jump through. But let's just say that Kill Dude might be seeing me sooner rather than later. So, Kill Dude might be seeing me sooner rather than later. Well, I mean, to be fair, Todd, they offered me a shit ton of money. How could I say no? How could I say no? And they let me buy all this cool Tokarev ammo at a discount. Don't run, I like a chase. Gets my blood flowing. Weren't expecting that reply, were you, Kill Dude? Nothing quite like running down your prey, you know? Not quite, but maybe a major. I mean, that's pretty true, Kill Dude. Like, 7.62 by 25 is like the peasant's 5.7, so. Pretty much is. Pretty much is. Well, appreciate all you guys for stopping by. I'm going to go to bed so I can get up in like 7 hours. It's going to be fun. And make some breakfast. I'm looking forward to. Oh, forgot. Had some extra taters. That's right, Jake. Make sure you text me and send me a message in the morning so I can remember that I have shit I have to do. They perform pretty much very, very similarly. I wouldn't say exactly the same, but very, very similarly. The reason Tokarev wins is cost. Tokarev is cheap compared to 5.7. So, yeah. But, like, I think Tokarev wins just because of cost alone. Cost. It's cheap. It's way cheap compared to 5.7. Getting a gun in 7.62 by 25 and ammo to shoot out of it is much cheaper than 5.7 is. And the cool thing about 7.62 by 25 is there's different loadings. Like, if you get some fucking submachine gun ammo, that shit's like hot, way hotter than like Tokarev pistol ammo. Tokarev submachine gun ammo is way fucking hot, and that will go through a lot. So you can order it. It's like what I did. I ordered 3 500-round cases. So it's pretty slick. Pretty slick. So I got 2 cases FMJ and 1 case of hollow points. So it's the way to go. Way to go. So, all right, everybody. I'm going to bed. I got to clean up all my dishes first. And I'm going to bed after I do some pull-ups. So, thank you all for stopping by. It's great to talk to all of you. Really brightened my day. So, and I'll see all of you here, maybe on the weekend, depending on how early I get done and stuff like that. So, just grind the serial numbers off, Kill Dude. Go buy a Dremel and just, and then they can't tell, then sell it. So. All right. Nighty night, everybody.